You're not selfish for putting yourself first. You can only take care of other people if you can care for yourself. Make sure you're putting yourself priority, shift your mindset a little bit. It is hard, but you got this.
Hey y'all, it's Dani Cee from the Happy Life Agenda. Welcome to this episode where I am joined by a guest that you all have met before, Kerry Hamilton-Gannaway. Welcome back.
Thank
And
you.
as
So
you
happy
know,
to be back.
we're so happy to have you again. As y'all know, she's a 35-year veteran in the fitness industry, certified wellness coach, menopause specialist, but she's also a wife, a mother, and a daughter. And she is, going through something, experiencing something that is, happening to a lot of us because a lot of us have had children older. I know I had my daughter when I was 38, and that is taking care of young children, but also taking care of aging parents. And so she's really here to talk about something that is very deeply personal. It's interesting because when I was interviewing Kerry for this podcast, we started talking about this conversation. And now I have just talked to so many people who are experiencing this. And it feels like there's this deep loneliness because everyone's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't feel supported. No one else understands what I'm going through. So if you are in that space or you know someone that is, you really need to tune into this episode because Kerry's going to help us, navigate this topic, how to protect our mental health, build community, and then of course still help those who need us. So Kerry, thank you again for coming back and give us a little, insight on you for those who haven't heard the episode with you before.
Yeah, so I am a 35-year fitness industry veteran. I've done everything that you could possibly do in fitness. I'm passionate about it, love it. I wouldn't have another job. Like, this is definitely what I was born to do, is to inspire and make people uncomfortable physically. And I love really kind of keeping it light and joyful, because movement is something that I do to create positive energy within myself. And sometimes as we get older, life changes, and it's always changing. We're always cyclical, right? It's always moving. We're never on a solid ground every day. Life happens. And sometimes in life, you are raising your children, and then your parents aging starts to, their health starts to decline. And then you find yourself in a situation where if you're living in the same town, you're there to take them to doctor's appointments, or you're there to help them. It starts with like, can you help me with some household things? Then it's like, can you drive me somewhere? Can you take me to my appointments? And so my father is actually, he's in assisted living now. He's in a memory care center. He has Parkinson's and dementia. And my sister lives in the same town as he, and I'm 3 hours away. So I get the support side. I am the team support captain. She is the girl in the trenches. She's
on the ground.
She's going through it, right? She works a full-time job. She doesn't have younger children. She has older children, but one lives at home. So it's a lot. And I'm just watching her just trying to hold on to all of this in a medical system that isn't easy.
You're absolutely right about that.
So, and that's with great insurance. And that's with having the luxury of really quality insurance and the money to afford to be in an assisted living, but what it looks like outside of that space really freaks me out. It's really scary to see that these people are taking care of their parents in a way, like they're really taking care of their parents, like a nurse would. Plus they're working like a full-time job. Plus they have kids. And so where did they go?
Absolutely. Like my aunt is going through that right now. She's taking care of my grandmother, and she has had to move in and completely change her life. And, and there's not a lot of conversations around this on how do you keep your sanity? How do you keep helping them? The decline that's happening. My grandparents were also divorced. So it's a step grandfather. He's also declining. His kids are not involved. I mean, so what are some of the things that your sister have experienced that we can kind of, impart some wisdom on? Like, how do you find the balance? Like, is it just, making sure that you take that time for your exercise and your wellness? Can you give me a little insight there?
Well, it's interesting that we bring this up today, because this morning I had to have a hard talk with her. she's not as in love with fitness as I am. And she's been stress eating. She admittedly probably stress drinking a couple of glasses of wine, because my father's not he's not easy, right? So it's not fun. He's not sweet. So there's that. So she's getting her butt kicked every time, right? Like emotionally. And I had to tell her, like, I worry about you as the caretaker, not taking care of yourself.
Yes.
What are you going to be after all of this is done? Because it's inevitable. He's going to pass on. And we all are at some point or another, but he's passing on at 80. If you don't take care of yourself now, you're not going to get that, right? Like this has got to stop, and taking on the stress and holding in. And he said it starts with habit stacking. It doesn't mean I'm asking you to wake up at 4 a.m. so you could be at the gym at 5. It means that, you're drinking a little bit more water, or you're asking for help, or you're making lists of things that I can support you. Because me just listening to her talk about problems isn't solving problems.
Right.
Just talking about problems.
It's venting,
Yeah. So having an effective support team, a friend, if you're involved at the church, like there are people out there, there are organizations out there that can help, support you through this journey. But it is hard. You can kind of sugarcoat it and make it sound like, well, you could do this, this, and this. But, the bottom line is you're facilitating someone's death and leaving the earth. And I said to her, what a gift. And actually I said this to my father yesterday, because he said, I know where I am. I know that I'm here, and this is the end of the road for me. And so he is aware that this is his decline, and this is probably where he will pass. And I said, you know what though, Dad, what a beautiful place to be around your children who are here. And I'm so honored to be able to walk with you on this journey and walk next to you, and like know that you're going to leave this earth having the knowledge that you're unconditionally loved by your children. And that's the gift that we get to give. So I think when we can reframe things a little bit too, it's almost like with exercise. I have to exercise, right? No, we get to. And I get to drive 3.5 hours one way to go and spend a couple of hours with my father. And my sister gets to go to the doctor with him to make sure that he's getting quality care. They gave us life, and we get to help them out. And I think I don't want to say as Americans, but there's certain cultures that they got this. This is,
they do.
Okay. I'm talking like I was married to a Cuban man, and there was no nursing homes. They come live. You're taking care. The whole family is taking care. I like that a lot. If we don't have that family structure in your life, but everyone should kind of be pitching in to do their part. So how do you not lose your identity, right? I'm raising babies and I'm also helping my parents, right?
Yes.
And you're just stuck between caregiving. But you have to find time, whether it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes, if it's sitting quietly and taking a breath, that's self-care. Like, don't make it seem like a self-care sounds like spa day.
There's a lot of misnomer on that one.
Self-care is taking everything shower. Do you know about an everything shower? Because my daughter, my 11-year-old told me about it. She said, I just had an everything shower. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, on Mondays and Wednesdays, I only condition my hair. But on Friday, I shampoo, I condition, I do the treatment. I'm like, okay. So ladies, the problem is we're shaving, we're conditioning, we're doing all the things, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's self-care. And
it's
just making sure you're not using excuses of, I have to do this for other people, so I can't do it for ourselves. It goes back to that airplane analogy of, if that air, if the plane's going down, the oxygen drops, you have a child next to you, who you're going to give the oxygen to? You, because you can't support anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself. So I know we've heard this before, but how do we put this into practice? And it's just starting your day with a little you time, right?
Yes.
That alarm goes off, hopefully we've slept well. That would be a big step. But sleep is super important. And I know that, if you're raising small kids, that's hit or miss.
Sleep.
Right? I know. But if you're in a space where you can get quality sleep, like 7 to 8 hours, And that might mean that you're not binge watching until 11 o'clock.
Yes. Yes.
But if it means let's start with 15 minutes earlier, let's get to bed 15 minutes earlier, that's a small little habit stack. And then the next day I'm just going to wake up and I just need 5 minutes. Just let the house know. I need 5 minutes of me time, not dive into your phone and doom scrolling. It's sitting. And if you drink coffee in the morning, it's that embrace the mug, love the smell, say some positive affirmations. Meditation and mindfulness is meditation savior for me. I started meditating 3 years ago, and I've probably logged, I think it's up to 500 hours of meditation over this time, because I just love having someone guide me. And really, if you don't have an app to do it, which there's several out there, it's counting breaths. It's just taking a deep breath. It's a hold at the top and if you do that 5 times and you sit with it after, your body physiologically changed. Your oxygen, your brain feels better. You just feel better. So that's it. For me, it's like a little tiny habit stack. 15 minutes to bed earlier, and now I'm breathing. And then there's another step, right? So I just think it can be overwhelming when we try to do all the things. So start pulling out the things that you don't need, strip it down, right? And then start with something small.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's such good advice. It goes back to that, one of the pillars of the happy life agenda is that specificity and intention. And so it's really, architecting a day that allows for you to have time for yourself. And it doesn't have to be this big, long, like you said, spa day. It doesn't even have to be an hour soaking in the bathtub. It can be that, getting into bed earlier so that you have some quiet time there, getting up a little bit earlier. And like you said, I started meditating and journaling about a year ago. And the difference in my life and my day when I just take, and sometimes I have 5 minutes, sometimes I have 45 minutes, but it's the things that I hear in that stillness and the way that I can just like get my body ready for the day and my brain, it's unbelievable. And so when people are navigating these things where there is a lot of demand on them, the things that can come to you in that stillness and the peace that will help you throughout your day is just, it's unparalleled. So I'm so grateful that you talked about that.
Yeah, because it turns off the talk. What is meditation, right? It's nothingness.
Yes.
To me, it's being able to stop the talking of my brain. There's so much overload and input that it causes. It's just like if you're typing too fast and your keyboard can't catch up, right? Then you start hitting these buttons and you're just hitting the buttons to try to get it to, it's not, you hit enter and then you have to it's so much information that you just kind of crash and then it freezes and you get that spinning.
Yes.
And you're just spinning through life. So meditation for me is just a way to kind of hit restart and stop the thoughts. Because I love this quote. We are not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are just memories that our brains kind of stored in there, but we are fleshy suits, right, of muscle and blood and tissue and energy, right? And so to be able to shut all of this down and not think and just to be with my heart and to be so still that I can feel my heartbeat and to feel my blood pumping, and then I'm in my present moment and nothing else exists, right? And the other part, like mindfulness and meditation, can possibly be movement. So it's walking. And if you have a dog, walk your dog. If you have a park, walk around the park. Just 5-10 minutes of walking can change your entire brain and make you feel better. Positive motion creates positive emotion. So if you're taking care of your kids, you drop your kids off and you're off to work, and you're just rushed and you've got coffee in hand, big bag, and you're like, after this, I have to go after work. I've got to pick up the kids and I have to go get my dad and I have to do all this, write it on a list, see where you can plug and play. Just like you just said, you're designing your day, but you're in control of it. So write the script, right? Don't let the day take you. You take control of the day. Even if it means it's busy and overwhelming. Okay, that's a lot. Wow. How am I going to plug in my food? Am I going to be able to get any exercise today? What does that look like? All right. So I can't make it to the gym today. I'm going to be parking farther away. I'm going to take the stairs. I'm going to eat better, maybe, a little less calorie intake, but enough. Don't not
Right.
eat, right?
Listen to our other episode.
That's another episode. But yeah, it's designing that day. And if you have the biggest tool is writing it down. So I'm a paper girl. I still have my paper planner. I just love
So
it.
good for you.
I have stickers in it. Just, it's like, it feels good. Yeah. Right. It's fun. It feels crafty. So that to me is how I like to structure my day to be able to balance all things, business owner, mom of an 11-year-old. I also have 2 adult children, by the way. And they're 26 and 23. So they're also needy and they still
lots of phone calls.
a lot of phone calls. And so there's a lot. And then I'm like, oh, there's a lot. Like they just need me all the time. And I'm like, okay, let me reframe that to a way that sounds less like negative. So I'll say like, I'm so grateful that my kids want to talk with me. And I feel so valuable because they need, right? And I'm so lucky that I get to be with my dad during this time. And I just feel so much gratitude for all of this. It's reframing it. And the more you reframe these things, the less it feels like a lie, right? Because at first you're like, I'm so grateful, even though you're tired and you don't want to do it. But it's not really a lie. It's just switching the dialogue of how you frame things mentally and emotionally. So it can be hard when you're in it. But remove yourself from the brew. I think of this big cauldron and this, I call it the poop soup. So poop soup's in there and you're in it and you're just being stirred around. Like get on the outside of the poop soup and look at it and be like, all right, that's a lot. How am I going to work through this?
Right. It's that whole, become the observer and kind of step outside for a second and say, how would you help a friend? And one of the things that, I follow is like, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And, I have a 7-year-old, my parents are aging. Both of them are having health problems. It's, doctor appointment fun every single week. But what I'm very blessed. And it took me a little while to not get stressed out about this because I relied heavily on my parents helping with my daughter and my busy work schedule. And now that I've, God has provided the opportunities for me to step back and be able to spend more time with my parents. And now I get to be part of the quality time that my parents spend with my daughter. I have dinner with them twice a week. I'm able to help them go to doctor's appointments and have conversations. And incorporating all of that has, shifted what my week looks like, but it's a very exciting thing. Cause like you said, I get to be more part of my parents' lives because before I was like, oh, can you take my daughter here? And then I'll meet you here and pick them up. And I wasn't seeing them, even though my daughter was. So but it's all happening for me because I'm getting to spend these, I don't know how many years my parents have left. They're in their 70s, but at least I get to be there with them. And, they live down the road.
I love that too. And that you have, it sounds like you have a beautiful relationship. Not all relationships are great, right? Yeah. There's tension sometimes, and maybe you're caring for a parent that you didn't have a wonderful relationship with. Yeah. So that can be a lot too. I feel like, and that's where my sister and I talk a lot because my dad's our dad. He's hard. Like he was undercover narcotics. Like his life has not been easy. And so it gives me perspective to look at this man and go, okay, he's human. And he wasn't always the greatest at showing love and affection. But we've had these really beautiful moments now where I get to see him in a different light. And it softened my heart and it gave me a different way to look at him. And that was healing for me. And it helps me kind of forgive where he couldn't meet me where I needed in my life early on. He did the best he could. So I also think that forgiveness can be a beautiful thing to offer up to your parent who may or may not have been the best at caregiving or loving, right? But you're in turn, it's for me, right? He's going to pass on and he'll take that away and take with him all the things that he's felt. But for me, I'm still going to live and I'm still going to have these things that weigh on my heart. But I've been able to release that. And I've been able to go, you know what? He didn't choose his dad. He didn't choose he didn't have the tools given to him to help him be able to be a great dad. He did the best he could. So paradigm shifting during this time has been really big.
Yes.
And it has helped me. Being able to forgive somebody is the most freeing thing that you can do. It is a gift to your soul.
Yes.
So I wanted to speak on that because I know that that's got to be hard for people that don't have that. Taking care of my mom, who I loved, but was not, she didn't take really good care of herself, and it affected my sister and I. And she passed a while ago. But it's healing. So all of this can be stressful. And then you add that relationship aspect of it that may not have been great. So I just wanted to speak on that a little bit. But forgiveness for me has just been so healing, and it gets me to the place where I'm like, I get to.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you brought that up because actually in my family, my mom and her sister didn't have the greatest relationship with their mother, and they're not having to take care of her. Yeah. And I interviewed someone on my podcast recently that talked about some of the things that are holding us back and making it hard for us to even have forgiveness and all those things, is looking back and seeing what those relationships and things kind of did to us as we were growing up, but also what are the tools and what are the generational things that happened to your parents, grandparents that, made them that way, that they didn't even know any better. Yeah. And it can help with those forgiveness conversations and getting those things out of our bodies, both as the caretaker and then for the person that's going to pass on and have that forgiveness, because those are energy knots that are going to, can cause sickness and hold us back. Yes. And so such an important point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. And it makes taking care of them a little bit less of a pain point, Exactly. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect. My dad drives my sister nuts, and I have to listen and just tell her, I'm like, hey, he's not doing this to you. It is just who he is. And not to mention, he's got Parkinson's and dementia. Like, he's got brain damage. So, don't take offense to everything they say, especially if they're dealing with illnesses that they can't control. Just do the best you can and pull yourself emotionally out of the fight zone. It's not happening to you. Just let it roll, and you'll be better off for it. So, just being able to get, and I say that, but I'm the 3-hour away girl. Yeah. So it can be a lot, I think just, this has just been a big point for me in my life with my parent. And I can only imagine that we don't really talk a lot about it, but we get to rewrite our stories with them,
Yeah.
How many times you'd be like, oh, my parents were so blah, blah, blah. And my life was, I had this happen and they were not there and they did this, this, and this. And you're like, now you're a parent yourself. And
yes, that's eye-opening.
What the story your kids are telling about you. And, my dad worked undercover in the 80s during in Miami drug.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
wow.
Can you imagine what he saw? He's dealing with the worst of the worst. Do you think that's the big part in how he treats people? Probably.
Absolutely.
Do you have to be a different type of character to do that? Yeah. So it gives you perspective. So sitting back and looking at things also helps in aiding that hard spot if you have it. Otherwise you get to just take care of your parents and be with them, and it's beautiful, and they brought you in, you get to help them out.
Perspective and empathy. I like that.
Yeah. Empathy. Yeah. Yes. We need more of that.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Please.
And women are really good at it. It's just, but it's something that we get in the anxiety and all of that type of stuff and the rumination. And it's like, okay, now we can take these different tools, like you just said, is going back and saying, why are they that way? Yeah. Okay, let me understand. Let me forgive. You've given some great advice.
Another thing is how do you keep going? So if you start strong and you fall off, you're trying to implement these healthy things in your life and how to find that balance. If you have a bad week where it's just, they've been in the hospital, or it's just your kids are going through something and you fall off the wagon, just for me, it's just such an amount of grace, that's why I'm really big about, don't try to add too many new things to your plate at once. When I say habit stacking, it's literally baby stacks, the thinnest Lego. There's thin Legos. Okay. The thinnest Legos stacking on top of each other, create a big movement, but trying to do too much. I'm going to not eat sugar. I'm not drinking this week, and I'm going to exercise every day for an hour. Well, okay, you just set yourself up for failure, because that's even harder for people that are really committed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just try to track your wins. And so when you start to feel like you're beating yourself up, or I failed at this, but I at least I didn't do this, or at least I was able to get more water in, or I didn't hit play for when that Netflix thing went to the next episode. I turned it off. I didn't, keep going. Right. So, I mean,
That's a good one.
it's a good one, but it's like that takes a lot of
Willpower.
that takes a lot of willpower to do that. No, we'll just save it until tomorrow. But I feel like just like looking at the little wins that you have and not beating yourself up so much. Try to be a child, meaning like when I look at myself sometimes and I feel like I'm having a shame game day, where I just feel like imposter syndrome or I'm not enough, or we all have it. We all have it. And I just have to pull myself back and be like, okay, where were you a month ago? Where were you a year ago? Look how far you've come. So when we start beating ourselves up, I actually have a picture of my child self on my mirror. And I have a picture of my daughter has a picture of her child self on the mirror, because I always want her to see herself as I don't want her to speak unkindly to herself. So we talk about this, and I don't want to speak unkindly to myself. We go through enough pain, and we've been through a lot. So when we start saying, she says, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. I'm like, would you tell that little baby that? Would you say that to that child, that you look ugly, you have this and this? And she's like, no, like, why are you saying it now? Or I'll say
that's good.
But those are my eyes. So am I ugly? No. So we're not ugly. So kindness in reflection of the things that you're kind of beating yourself up on. Think about where you came from.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's so good. I really like that exercise. That's a good one. And then what you're saying about gratitude and thinking about what went well today is, if you're journaling, or get a prompt journal, and at the end of the day, write down the 3 great things that you're grateful for today. And it could be small. Like you said, I drank water, I got out of bed, I didn't hit the next episode on Netflix. And then do a 30-day look back and say, like, look at where I was when this 30 days started and where I am now. Journaling and being able to have that look back.
So for me, all right. So imagine a beaded necklace, right? You do the beading. You have a daughter. I'm sure you're making jewelry.
Oh yeah. That's everywhere.
Everything. Glitter, everything. So you have black and white beads. The black beads are the things that you didn't do so well, and the white beads. So just imagine you've stacked white beads. Okay, I drink water. I didn't watch the extra episode. I had 2 candy bars. White bead, black bead. But I drank extra water, white bead. I did this. So like if you look at the necklace, that it's not a black necklace, right? It's white, black, maybe black, white. So I love that as a kind of an exercise that I do with my clients too. Like what bead are we adding, and then you can have this tangible thing to look at it. So I love that too. It's just, or a jar of beads. And then you can look and see, okay, that's a black marble. That wasn't so great. Look at all the white marbles, right? I'm crushing it. And when you can have perspective like that, or like a Google map, when you zoom out, you're like, okay, that's not so bad. Look at me. I'd almost have a pearl necklace. It's so pretty, a couple black pearls in there. It's all right. But yeah, for me, it's just looking at your wins. So
yes. Oh my gosh, I love all of these. There's lots of tangible things here that we can do. And so I think you gave the audience some amazing things. We could talk forever. You and I, it's just so much fun to chat with you. And so we're about out of time, but is there any one last piece of advice that you want to give our audience before we wrap up?
You're not selfish for putting yourself first, right? You can only take care of other people if you can care for yourself. So make sure you're putting yourself priority, shift your mindset a little bit. It is hard, but you got this.
Excellent. Oh, thank you for all the advice today, Kerry, and then really talking about this important topic. I think you said it's called a bookend mom, where you're taking care of the kids and we're taking care of our parents. And so thank you for bringing that to our attention and to light, because I think this conversation really needs to be had. If everybody wants to, kind of find you and connect with you, what is some ways that they can reach you online?
We're on the Masters Fitness, mastersfitness.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Coach Kerry Ann with a K.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again, Kerry, for joining us. And to all of you listening, thank you so much for tuning into this conversation. If you love this episode, please click subscribe below, and then be sure to follow the Happy Life Agenda on all of the social media feeds. And you can comment on this post, and if we need to have this conversation some more. I'd love to have Kerry back on because I know a lot of people need support in this direction. So we're also, starting the Happy Life Agenda retreats. So if you haven't checked that out, please visit happylifeagenda.com to get up to date on the upcoming retreat dates, how you can buy tickets. And if you haven't subscribed to my e-newsletter, please do, because that's where I give the early bird invites, and I do have exclusive discounts that are only for subscribers. So thanks again, y'all, for tuning in. Kerry, again, thank you. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye.